Hey everybody, I'm about to go on a day hike. I got inspired to do my own set up a tarp video from Joe Brewer. He just put out a good one on his channel. If you're not subscribed to his channel, you should definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. But odds are, if you're just subscribed to my channel, you're probably subscribed to his channel already. But yeah, I have been meaning to do this video for some time now, but just never got around to it. But finally, I got a little bit of free time and saw Joe's video, and I thought, you know what? I'd like to give my take on things. On most ultralight, setting up a tarp type videos, it's contingent on using trekking poles. A lot of people do that, and that's fine. It's that's great even. It's a very convenient thing to have with you if you use trekking poles to set up your tarp. However, I do not use trekking poles, and I also hike most of the time below tree line in the forest, in the woods. So what I do is I take advantage of using a couple of trees, or maybe one tree and like a stick that I can like stake out, kind of like a trekking pole. Yeah, so I'm gonna go on a day hike, set up my tarp in a few different ways. I'll put the kind of item description and specs in the description below, so you know what I'm working with. But odds are, if you've been watching my videos, you probably already have a good idea of what gear I'm using. What I'm not going to bring is anything to put under the tarp for a fully enclosed shelter, for example, a bivy or a net tent. I'll leave those at home. This is just setting up the tarp and the vestibule for the tarp, as you'll see. So here we are on a day hike, me and my son, and is it comfortable there? We found a spot that would be good to spend the night, and it's going to be a nice learning opportunity for my son. I'm going to teach him some tarp pitching techniques, and what we're going to do is we found this tree here and that tree there, and in the middle is a nice, relatively flat, and this is actually ideal because there's nice soft moss and grass here if we were to stay the night here. So we'll pitch a few different style tarp configurations, and yeah, so here's a simple A-frame pitch. I don't like to fiddle around with knots, so what I do is I just have a mini carabiner on each side to set up. Alright, if you look inside, plenty of space inside there. I have a ground cover. Obviously, if this is just a day hike I'm on, so I don't have a bivy or a net tent, but otherwise a bivy or a net tent would go in under there, and you see there's plenty of space. Can even take you through. So here we go. Right, and the ground cover, that's just a trimmed SOL emergency blanket. If you buy the normal, like single person one, cut it in half, you got two. And there we go. So taking you through right to the other side. There you go. Like I said, just a mini clip. Now this location was convenient in that I didn't have to make another loop here to attach the mini carabiner. They just happened to fit on each end on that, and I just looped it around the tree once, and I was able to attach it back to the line. And yeah, here's my son. Did you find blueberries? No blueberries. We'll have to go to a better spot. Alright, so now I'm going to set it up in a storm mode. You can set this up in a lean-to pitch, which is very easy to do. I'm not going to bother with that because that's just, you would pitch it just on one side. That's if the weather is very fair. But this is the pitch that I set up most of the time. There we go. Yeah, thanks. You can see there how you can fit. This is the pitch I use most of the time. The A-frame in kind of what I would call like normal mode, where I have the guide lines extended all the way out on the ends of the tarp there, and I don't have a vestibule. So now I'm going to repitch it in what's more like my rain mode or storm mode, so you can see how that looks. Alright, and here it is pitched in what I guess would be my storm mode. I have the guide lines, that way I don't need line locks or pull out on the On the main tarp here, my flat tarp, I just have guy lines on there, and they can be fully extended, or I can pitch them, stake them. I'll give you a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. When they're folded in half there, that gets it closer to the ground, right? I also have lowered the ridge lines a bit to get it closer to the ground, so wind and rain are not going to get in as much. Also, just so you could see what I was talking about before, last time I pitched it, I happened to just be able to wrap it around the tree conveniently and put the mini clip onto the ridgeline itself. I decided I'd show you guys, how you could alternately do it by putting in a loop here. Here's some extra, cord that I don't need, so that way I only have to wrap it around once, and then there we go. So let's take a look at this front door / vestibule. Obviously it is a rain poncho. I put the ridgeline through here, which means that you'll have to be a little proactive if the weather's really nasty. You'll set up the main tarp first, and after that, throw off the rain poncho, undo the ridgeline, put it through real quick, and then jump in. You're going to get wet anyway if it's heavy rain. You're going to be, a bit soggy, so no big deal. It's pretty quick and easy. But here's how this front door works. You can fully extend it, like so. I have it pitched out on the sides there. I bring a couple of extra stakes and extra guy lines for that. But yeah, if I pull it out here, then I can put something in to weigh it down, like say a water bottle or a backpack or something. If there's, I want to have a little, if it's not really windy, and if it's just moderate rain. Now, we'll take a look inside. Here we go. You see my son's in there relaxing. You see there's plenty of room. It's just a bit lower, and as I said before, you will need a bivvy or a net tent to, get away from the bugs, be fully enclosed. But yeah. But now let's see what happens, when we close the door, so to speak. So you just push in or pull in from the inside. You can pull in the poncho and kind of close the door. You tuck in the poncho like so, and here you just grab like a water bottle, weigh it down, or your backpack. If I just, put my pack here and weigh it down, you don't need any extra stakes if you don't want to, or you can use a stick as an improvised stake. But now that it's all tucked in here, right? Now this is pretty storm-worthy shelter. Alright, so that's how I pitch my tarp. It's 3 main ways: a lean-to, which I'm not going to bother to show you. That's pretty easy and self-explanatory if you have any reasonable amount of experience pitching a tarp. So you have the lean-to, where it's just, if it's very fair weather, just protecting from one side, maybe from wind. I have my normal A-frame, right, which I showed you before, and this is storm mode if it's moderate to heavy rain. Yeah. Alright. Hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching. Take care.